Throughout the history of the game, we've seen plenty of weird free throw forms, and rarely are they effective. They continue to struggle with arrhythmic motions that borderline on comedy, causing heartache from the players and heartburn for the coaches needing to play them in crunch time. So, when Spurs rookie Jeremy Sochan struggled early in the season with a form that didn't even look that bad, he decided to try something none of these other fools considered, tearing down the whole thing and starting over. And wouldn't you know it, with this new form he's been taking that free throw and it's good to see he wasn't afraid, and now he's through the first 29 games of the season. Jeremy Sochan's form looked very traditional and resulted in him clanking to the tune of 45.8%. Overnight, he went from shooting like this to this. We've seen one-handed free throws before. Most of the time, they're horribly awkward, but this one actually looks graceful and smooth. So let's examine how we got here. At first glance, his original form looks fine, but there are some red flags. The left-hand placement is a bit suboptimal as it starts underneath the ball when he gets set, but then watch how it slides along the ball, bringing both heels of his hands almost together before flexing the right wrist into the shot. Because of this fundamental struggle with his hands and wrists, I imagine the coaching staff said, let's lose the offhand and arm altogether. The results have been very promising. In the 13 games he's played since the change to a one-handed shot, he's shooting 75.8%. He no longer dribbles the ball twice before shooting, preferring to put it in his right hand immediately with the hand underneath the ball before rotating his wrist to extend it back, and now the ball never stops moving through the set point to the release. This energy transfer is much better as the set point is lower, the ball stays in front of his face the whole way, and he times the heel lift to the release perfectly. But if he continues to make them at this rate, I wouldn't touch it the rest of the season, especially since so much of free throw shooting is mental, whether you're focused, relaxed, and comfortable on that line. And a key part of that mental preparation is getting great sleep. And looking at some of these guys' free throw percentages, I'd be losing sleep too, which is why if they had slept on a bare mattress, they'd be making a lot more shots. Bare Mattress creates premium mattresses designed to upgrade your sleep, improve your lifestyle and overall quality of life, and they conveniently ship them right to your door for free. I filled out this Bare Sleep quiz filled with terrific questions about how I sleep, what position I like to sleep in, and how my body generally feels after I wake up. So you're going to get the perfect mattress. I got this baby right here, the Elite Hybrid King, cool to the touch with copper-infused memory foam that feels like I'm on a cloud. At 93%, there's no question Kevin Durant is sleeping like a baby on a Bare mattress. When it's delivered, it's rolled up in a box, so it's easy to get in your bedroom, then it magically expands within about 30 seconds. I've been sleeping on it for a week and I can't get over how quickly I fall asleep once I get in bed. And I've been tracking my sleep quality and it's as high as I've ever seen it. Best of all, they're Green Guard Gold certified, CertaPlus US certified, and EcoFlex fiberglass free, which means you can lie on them knowing you're completely safe. They do have a 120-night sleep trial, so you get more than 3 months to make sure you love it. Don't blame stress or blue light for your sleeping issues. It's probably your mattress. So click on the link below to take Bare Mattress' sleep quiz, and if you use my code BBALLBREAKDOWN, you'll save 30% off your order. With all my extra sleep, it got me wondering if there was anyone else that had radically switched his free throw form mid-season. Not only is the answer yes, but it's going on right now over in Charlotte. Last March 9th, which is my anniversary coincidentally, Plumlee hit this right-handed free throw by banking it in. Until that point, he'd been a miserable 36% on the season. But the next game, he did something even more radical than Sochan. He switched hands. Now, if we examine his right-handed free throws, you can see this was clearly broken. Here he is in the 2018-19 season. You can see everything is segmented separately as he straightens his knees before he's ready to release. Then the wrist snap is interrupted midway through, and this sudden jerky motion causes his left foot to step forward to maintain balance as his whole body is struggling against his alignment. But even more than that, watch how the ball would move left as it was starting to release, then his right shoulder would have to fight his body to get back underneath the ball and propel it to the hoop. The wrist wouldn't just flex on release, but would pronate to the left. So it's not surprising they'd take drastic measures. But to completely switch hands? Tristan Thompson had done this, so it wasn't unprecedented. Thompson's first 2 years shooting lefty didn't go well as he hunched over too far, then took too much time with the arm swing up so that when it came time to release, he had to rush to get it off. While the right-handed form had a little bit better rhythm, he shot with his feet even, making it a little harder to get the right hip and elbow aligned to the hoop. That first year was a high water mark, and he never got close to that level again. So I don't know if this was the best decision, but he's got a ring. Back to Plumlee. With the left-handed attempts, he's not trying to replicate a normal form. To generate enough power with his offhand, he's resorted to a shot put method. At least now, he's syncing his leg extension with the wrist snap better. The ball stays in a better vertical plane the whole way through, which will ensure it stays on target consistently. That said, he's not even at 60% with this form, but it is 4 points higher than his career average. There's another player who desperately needs to switch hands, and he's currently turning in one of the worst free throw percentages we've ever seen. I've documented Ben Simmons' lefty shooting before and how he just seems much more like a natural righty. Notice the awkward release attempt with the left wrist. Nothing about this shot is consistent as he does snap the wrist in the next one, but his elbow also recoils after initially straightening. Speaking of that elbow, check how it swings out just before he begins straightening into the release. This one is plain ugly and needs something as extreme as Thompson and Sochan. Amazingly, there's an even worse free throw shooter than this, and it's not surprising considering how low Steven Adams' career percentage is. If he maintains his current pace, he'll be the absolute worst of all time, even worse than the murderer's row of bricklayers in Ben Wallace, Andre Drummond, and DeAndre Jordan. Once he slightly bends his knees, they don't straighten at all, and when he begins the shot, the ball moves to the right, forcing the right pectoral muscle to engage a lot more as his arm drifts back to the left, which gets the ball to curve towards the rim. But the biggest problem by far is that his wrist moves into flexion at the set point, then while he's releasing, he extends it back before trying to again flex it to neutral. This troubling wrist action causes him to basically throw the ball at the hoop. It would make sense to analyze some of the best free throw shooters as well to figure out what they're doing that makes them almost automatic from the line. KD is at an unreal 93%, which would be the best percentage on high volume ever in the NBA. That said, his form is a bit of an anomaly. He uses the shoulder shrug to get comfortable and relaxed. Notice how extreme the turn of his feet is. Because he swings the ball all the way on his left side, in order for him to get his elbow in line with the basket, he has to turn his body farther than most people. As a result, he's able to have a high release point over his head and still be an absolutely elite free throw shooter, just not the kind you'd want to emulate. Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here, and I want to ask a little favor. I'm getting a little bit close to 1 million subscribers. I'd love to get there a little bit quicker, so hit that subscribe button if you like this, give me a thumbs up, give me a comment, and stay tuned for lots more coming up all season long. Steph Curry could be considered the best free throw shooter of all time. He just doesn't shoot a huge volume of them, but if we lower the criteria to a minimum of 4 attempts per game, then 39 players have shot above 91% for a season, and Curry has 5 of those seasons. He doesn't turn his feet like I coach my players to do, but you can see his knee bends across his body to allow the twist necessary to get the right hip and elbow more in line with the hoop. He gets his front foot set, takes just one dribble, and starts the ball at his waist. Once it begins its upward motion, it never stops until it's up and out of his hand. Notice that on most of these, Curry follows the ball with his eyes, a trait most of the great shooters have. And while you might not think it makes a difference since the ball is out of his hands, I'd recommend trying it if you don't normally do it. And that speaks to the mental aspect of shooting the basketball, particularly when all eyes are on you. Even if it's not at the end of the game, an arena full of people create tension that some players struggle mightily to handle. So if you're really struggling from the line, focus on what's truly important: the alignment of your body to the rim and the synchronization of your legs to your arms, what I call rhythm, to ensure a smooth energy transfer starting from the waist till the snap of the wrist. If you find your shot looking like some of these guys, I hope you realize it's never too late to scrap the whole thing, tear it down to the studs, and completely rebuild your shot so you can say, "I've got the chance, I'm taking it." And if you do, I guarantee you'll be able to prove to the world that when it comes to free throws, you'll be